This is for all the creators who are struggling to get everything done, social media, emails, accounting, etc. And this is literally like a copy and paste quote from what I got when I was doing research on my audience, and this is exactly for you. And so, if you don't know already who I am, my name is Tina. I help knowledge creators like you automate your business so that you can spend less time on social media, avoid burnout, and truly just focus on your zone of genius. So, if you already joined the newsletter, go ahead and join the newsletter. And if you're interested in getting system strategy and support in order for you to spend less time on that and truly just focus in on your business and be in that zone of genius, then I invite you actually to join Leverage Creator. So, some prep that needs to know. When we think about business, there's actually three areas of business, and the truthful nature of it is that two of those areas can be automated, but not a lot of people tell you about that, and that's what I'm here to do. And so when we think about this, I like to break down these three areas into marketing, sales, and delivery. So marketing is how do you get clients, right? How do you get people to come to you? Sales is how do you convert those people into actual paying clients? Delivery is how do you serve them, right? So when we think to ourselves, like, if you are at that point where like I'm struggling to get everything done, I want you to think about where are you allocating majority of your time. Majority of the time, people are allocating their time on marketing and sales, where their time is allocated. And that's great, especially if you're in the beginner, because this helps you get clients, which is like if you are just starting out, that's exactly what you need to be doing. But then if you spend all your time on marketing and sales, then your delivery is going to suck, right? And what do I mean by delivery? I'm talking about how do you serve your clients, right? And this is where it should be allocated. And so when you focus on your delivery, this helps you keep your clients and actually gets you really great reviews, really great testimonials, right? But if you are one person, you can't actually do all those three things really well. One of those things are going to have to give at the end of the day, right? And so I'm going to be very honest with you. When I was a coach and I used to do business coaching for life coaches way back in the day, I was trying to hold all of these three areas as one person, and it absolutely sucked. I got burnt out and it definitely was not worth my time. And so this is where I thought to myself, okay, Tina, like I still have this mission of helping people. I just truly believe in entrepreneurship and I want to help people create generational wealth their business and have the time to enjoy that wealth. That's a core mission for me. But I do not want to be spending my ton of my time on marketing and sales when I know that it could be automated. So how do we get there, right? And so I want to focus on this goal instead, where we focus on less on this area, meaning that marketing and sales can be automated and take care of for me. And then I rather focus a large section of my time on delivery so that I can actually get great reviews, create really great content, and create really great courses and digital products because that's my current revenue stream. And so when we think about this, I really want to think from the perspective of marketing, right? Like let's talk a little bit about marketing and sales and how does that look like from an automated perspective? Well, when we have marketing is our kind of like growth strategy. And what is actually going to be the best growth strategy? That is creating really great content. Now, if you are stuck in that phase where you're like, oh, I have to do sales delivery and you want me to create content, the truthful fact of it is that the best growth strategy is really great content. And if you're not spending a ton of time creating great content, then kind of everything else kind of just like dwindles along with it, right? Because your content fuels your emails, it fuels your socials, it fuels your engagement, right? But the area that I feel like most people spend too much time on that really gets them stuck is they focus less on creating great content, but they focus more on hacks. They focus more on like the trends or the new platform. And honestly, I feel like that's a waste of time. Like if you just create really great content, just pick a damn platform and call it a day. But I like to have my content have a longer life cycle, right? And so this is where we want to talk about this concept of like, okay, how can I be in a position to create content once, but actually automate my email creation, my social creation, and not engagement, but how can I do all those things so that I could get really great engagement, right? And so if you're trying to figure out the tools that I use to actually do this, feel free to comment tools on the social media post and I'll send it the tools database your way. And then if you're looking for strategy, systems, and support and all those things, then I definitely encourage you to join Leverage Creator. But again, So what this looks like is like you need to create really great content, and then you can actually automate this process so that it actually creates distribution for emails, distribution for your socials, so on and so forth, right? Now, the second piece of like automation, how does that actually work? Sales. Well, marketing drives actions, right? If you are unclear as to what action you want to grow, then marketing's going to go anywhere, right? All that marketing does is it just drives traffic. It drives to push towards an action, right? So the question that I want you to ask yourself is, what is the action that you're driving towards, right? Different actions are required for different stages. What does that mean? Means that you should focus on the stage that gives you the highest value, right? And so content, which is also known as your marketing in this case, right? It usually drives towards your social channels because that's where you're actually probably posting your content, right? But what is the action that I want the marketing of socials to drive? Well, I actually want it to drive towards my emails because with my emails, I actually own my audience, right? And then what is the traffic that I'm generating with my emails? Well, I actually want to put it shit to sales, right? And so you have to ask yourself, like, what is most important to you, right? If your goal is to get to sales, well, are you doing the things to drive traffic from your emails first off to drive sales? If you're not doing that, then you have a leaky bucket because what you're doing is like you are focusing so much on socials and growing your social media following, and it's no wonder that you're not seeing sales because you're more focused on the follower growth rather than the sales growth, right? And so again, what action are you focusing on? That's what's most important. Now, when we think about this from a perspective of how do I automate my sales, then the simple question that I'm going to ask you is, are you actually asking for the sale? Right? If you're asking for the sale more often, that's probably what's going to help you get more sales. But if you're not doing that in your email content, again, content is important, then it would make sense why you're not making sales because you simply need to ask. And so this was a huge pivot that happened to me last year where it's like, God, like I want to make more sales from email list. Well, what does that mean? That means I need to ask for more sales from my email list. And I've seen this with a good friend of mine where she told me, she's like, Tina, like, I just decided to take your strategy and just start selling an email. And like, she's getting more ebook sales, which is really great. And so when we think about how can we do this? Well, when we look at this trajectory here, where like social's email sale, like I'm not gonna be actually focusing on driving sales and from my socials. I don't want my call to action in my socials to be buy this product. I want my call to action on socials to be join my email list because I own that audience. So where am I focusing the area where I'm going to drive sales and ask for sales? I'm going to only do it primarily via my email list, right? And so, what I really like about that is because if I only focus on socials to drive that call to action to sales, I can't follow up. I can't see who clicked on it. I can't track the person that's doing all those things. Like, that's not a good experience for me, anyways, right? Because I want to be data driven with how I'm choosing to do my actions. And so I actually primarily focus on email as like the main channel that I use to drive sales. But I want to think about this from a perspective of how can I automate it? How can I like make this so easy for myself? And I'm trying to figure this out. Like the remarkable thing. Anyways, but I want to make this so easy for me. So I want to think about it from a perspective of like, how can I layer in sales? Like, how do I do this, right? Because not only do I want to be making sales like when I actually send an email, but I also want to be making sales when I'm not sending emails, right? And so this is where I think about like a daily strategy. How do I send an email daily? If that's what works for me, right? And so, how do I make this easy? And what automations do I use to make this process easy? Well, I talk about my idea to viral content automation that I use, which I explain it in a different video. If you want to know what that video is, comment tools and I'll send you the whole tools and the automations accordingly, right? How do I do this weekly? Well, I do this via an automated newsletter where I actually send the newsletter out to my email list. And then how do I do this monthly? Well, I do this via the form of a forever funnel, right? So on a monthly basis, I want to be sending content to my audience that's promoting specific offers that I'm selling. All right, so the last piece is when we think about delivery, right? We want to focus primarily on this channel right here, right? So you see this element of marketing, sales, delivery. This is the area where you want to be spending majority of your time. How do we get there? Well, the way that we get there is once when you have the marketing and sales automated, then you can spend the time on the delivery. And so your delivery is not something that can be automated. It's not something that can be outsourced or AI driven or anything like that, right? If your delivery is consultation and a human to human connection, then you don't want to do that, right? So this is where your energy should be focused on because that is what's going to be driving those reviews. It's going to be driving retention, testimonials, all those things. And so that's really where you want to have majority of your energy on. So what are the action items in order for you to get to a place where marketing and sales is automated and you're just truly focusing on delivery? Well, the things that you need to install in the form of automation is you want a content distribution system, right? My whole big thing is create content once and then let the automations distribute that content for you. The second thing is that you would perhaps want to install our idea to viral content newsletter, where like simply all you're doing all you're doing is you're spending majority of your time on idea and then on idea generation, and then you have automations help you execute that idea and put it out to market in the quickest way possible. The third thing that you would want to consider doing if you want to have like a layered weekly sales process is our automated newsletter, right? How can I create an automated newsletter where I'm taking all my content pieces and driving it towards offers and those types of things, right? That can be done. And the second last thing is how do I install a forever funnel so that if I want to sell content month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, things like that, I know that in my email list, it's always selling something, right? And so if you want the strategy on how to think about that, first thing you should do, and you want to know all the tools, comment tools that I use in order to automate this business. And then if you're looking for the systems, the strategy, all of these templates that you see here and much more, then join us in Leverage Creator. But that's pretty much it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.